Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. It's the 28th and we got GDP this morning. GDP jobless claims. We'll see if they care about the jobless claims this time. I don't know. I mean, the market has been pretty unresponsive to economic news lately. I do think that this GDP news is really important, but I also think that they're pretty likely to come in line with the estimate. So let's see here. We're looking for GDP. Oh, where is it? It's like 5% or something. And there's so many of them. Okay, we're looking for GDP growth rate quarter over quarter, a second quarter estimate to be -4.8, which is what it was net last month, and that's probably going to be accurate. So let's come over here to the charts. Oh, we've got a chart hidden somewhere. Where is it? Volume profile. Okay, so you can see E-mini yesterday, as we discussed in our market recap. And by the way, if you haven't checked those out, check those out in the evening. It's a really short 5-minute thing, and going through all the stories I think are important. And if you like that sort of stuff, you find it useful, please let me know by liking and commenting on those videos. Anyways, so we had this huge flush down and then recovery, miraculous recovery once again. Now, since then, in the Asian session, things have actually been somewhat mixed and flat. This move up to here was really like just the volatility, the amount of volatility that you would expect to see based off of implied volatility. Okay, so. But the thing that I find really, really interesting right now is that the treasuries are still up. I mean, we have to zoom in to really see it, but you can see here's the risk. And then when the E-mini recovered, the treasuries really did not. They really didn't fall until after the markets closed and we got into the Asian session. And then in the Asian session, they bid it up a little bit. Now the thing is we're kind of at a lower end of a range here, so maybe mid to lower end of the range. So we could go higher, but it's just curious. Now I think I have a pretty good explanation for what's going on, though. That we're seeing inflows into equities from retail space, but also. There are some companies that are doing quite well, like the Microsofts, for instance. Since they're so heavily weighted on the index, it looks like there's a pretty good reason to continue to see the stock indexes go up, absent anything else. So, but meanwhile, we got this China trade war thing. And the equity markets seem to be ignoring it, but the treasuries are very much acknowledging the risk there. Now, here's the interesting thing is that the treasuries are a flight to safety, and they are bid up a little bit because of that, but China is talking oh my gosh. It's just, I can't kind of believe it, how aggressive they're being about this. The Chinese state media is talking about dumping treasuries again. They're saying they're going to target the U.S. service industry. This isn't going to stand. All of these sorts of things. So, yeah, there's definitely some risks out there in the market that might not be completely reflected in prices, but it makes sense that they wouldn't. All right, so that's where we're at. Let's see if we get in here. I'm going to test our text-to-speech. See if we get all of the sound stuff squared away here.
Speculator Seth Day Trading says
Cool.
test.
And we go over to here and do this. I guess I'll test the audio. No, that is wrong. Good morning, Leandro. Which broker do you use to trade futures? I'm with AMP right now. They're not perfect. I really want to go over to EdgeClear. I really think that at the end of the summer or at some point I'm going to move over. I really like those guys. So, yeah. I got to tell you, right now with futures, it used to be that AMP had the best commissions, and that was really like the main determining factor. But Ninja Trader Brokerage has reduced their commissions and are pretty equal on that front. And really, if you want to trade with Ninja Trader, they're the best place to go if you're a new customer. I'm kind of grandfathered into certain things, but if I was starting again, I would be going to Ninja Trader Brokerage. But if you're not using Ninja Trader, then you kind of, you go other places. And so which broker you end up going to is depending very much on what you want to trade from what I've seen. So if you're trying to decide on which broker to trade, those are three that I would look at that are probably the most common is the Ninja Trader Broker, AMP, and EdgeClear. Also, Optimus Futures is a really good one. They're a little bit higher on the commissions, but they have like really good support and they're really kind of walk you through things. So if you're really new and you want a lot of assistance, that's a good place to go. Let's see here. How do I have this set up that why am I wrong here? Voice meter, aux, cable. So why is it that when we read this...
Eric LaForest says, which broker do you use to trade futures?
Oh, okay, that's good. Okay, I got it set up right. I'm just gonna leave this like this and never touch it again. Okay, so we got the news coming up here. Remember the number we're looking for, GDP growth, -4.8. Make sure that we get this thing up. Okay, jobless claims was 123. GDP is down. -5. We're getting it. We're not getting it over here in Jigsaw yet. Jobless claims. Okay, the U.S. the E-mini is not really reacting to it yet. Actually, if anything, maybe up a point. It's a -5 versus 4.8. It's not really a significant difference. Okay, so with numbers in line, that leaves us in an interesting spot. Selling a little bit. It is like higher. The jobless claims is higher.
Leandro Matias says, which platform is that for the news? I am looking on Forex Factory, but they are usually delayed.
Yeah, good question. So I'm looking right now at this window right here is built into Jigsaw, and they're pretty fast. They are pretty fast. Like they're with the initial jobless claims, they got it when it came out. Um, but the GDP growth one, that one was a little bit slow. Today I am listening to News Squawk, so that's why it was a little. I didn't want to give away the number right away because I don't want to be in violation of what they're doing. But um, it's a demo. I'm not. I'm really torn. I really want to focus on news, and I really think that the News Squawk would be a critical component of that, and I do think that it has been useful. And the amount that you pay per month for it, I think that we could gain enough to overcome that. Like I think that hearing the news gives us enough edge to pay for that. But it's kind of in the summer, and I'm not really going to be like actively trading it anyways. So maybe I'll wait until September. I would like to get the channel to a spot where we can spend some money on better news and data, so that I can do a better job for you guys of analyzing the fundamentals. Um, I don't know. Maybe some other subscription service would be more
Grant
appropriate.
B says, morning, Seth.
Good morning, Grant. How are you? Anyways, it's like $250 a month, depending on if you pay for a year and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we would have to bump. We would have to do a lot of work on the channel to get to that point, unfortunately. Hmm. So
Leandro Matias says, thanks.
yeah, no problem. News. I mean, honestly, if my observation has been that to if you really want to trade the economic numbers and be fast, sorry, I have like the hiccups. If you really want to be fast, you got to use a News Squawk service. So there's News Squawk, Live Squawk, Benzinga, and then there's the big services like you can pay for Bloomberg, which would be a ton. I would love to make enough. If I tell you what, if this channel ever was to happen to blow up, which I don't think should ever happen, but if it were to, um, I will buy a Bloomberg subscription. So that would be nice to have a Bloomberg terminal. All right, 3040. I don't know. I actually feel like that the amount of movement that we're seeing right here in the E-mini is more than it should be based off of what the numbers came in at. It does not give me reason to trade. If anything, it just means that the trend is still up. And I'm sure that some people bought at the fair prices below. Well, we do have pending home sales at 10. I'm going to minimize that and move this over here so that we can see the Vista chart. There they go, Lion. Hmm. So it was a good up move there. I think if we really wanted to participate, that we should have been in at like 37. But maybe we'll see if they give us a really good entry somewhere. The Hill. Trump Scarborough streets unsettle his allies. Yeah, I can see that. You know, there's a thing with Trump's Joe Scarborough tweets. I don't think that, and I think that the general political consensus is that Donald Trump doesn't really believe the story that Joe like killed somebody. Um, and he probably doesn't really believe it. In fact, the way that he talks about it, he's saying, "I don't necessarily believe it. Just that there are rumors and that it's dodging him." So I think the reason why some of Donald Trump's allies are unsettled by this is that they're saying, "Well, wow, he's willing to do and say anything to harm his enemies." Well, yeah, we knew that. Donald Trump tweeting here, "This will be a big day for social media and fairness." Oh, he's gonna drop. When is he gonna drop it? I really. I'm interested to see what he's going to do. I mean, I think I have a pretty good idea of what he's going to do by removing certain protections that they've enjoyed, maybe categorizing social media companies as common carriers or something like that. But it's so funny when I go and I read on Reddit and the news and things like that. Like the thing that I'm reading right now is like legal experts say there's nothing he can do, and I'm like, well, okay, like I think we know almost exactly what he's going to do. So now, this is going to be an interesting flow in the markets because this news isn't going to be good for social media companies, and Facebook is one of those big stocks that has been leading the S&P 500. It's probably not enough to affect the overall index if they really want to move up, but it should have some impact. Twitter was definitely down yesterday on the news. Like the whole index moved down and Twitter moved down with it. But then when the rest of the index bought back up, they did not buy up Twitter. They left them behind. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Twitter open lower today. But we're going to have to check that in. Remind me at 5 minutes after the open. Probably Twitter down. UK Prime Minister Johnson's spokesman says UK Prime Minister will set out later on Thursday the next steps on easing the lockdown measures from June 1st. Says we are deeply concerned about Chinese legislation relating to national security for Hong Kong undermines principle of one nation, two systems. Yeah. So just to reiterate on the China thing, my opinion on that, by the way, um, China is saying that they will retaliate, and they are specifically mentioning the U.S. service industry. Um, it looks like this law, criticizing China over the Uyghur situation is going to go through, and they're upset about that. And it looks like this whole thing with China, with Hong Kong losing its special economic status because it is no longer independent from China, is also going through. And China has promised retaliation over these things. So, for instance, retaliation against the U.S. service industry, it's going to happen. In my opinion, at this point, it is going to happen. Mm-hmm. What is the word I'm looking for? Volatility. You know what? I misspelled volatility there, and I don't care. Mohammed El Arain, 2.123 million for jobless claims in line with consensus expectation. Takes the COVID-19 shock aggregate to over 40 million on the GDP front. Quarter one contraction was
Matt Cooper says China's just threatening everyone, rolling on the floor laughing.
The U.S. economic downturn is deepening, is Mohammed El Arain's reaction. China is just, well, they are. They really are. And here's the thing is that from my observations, when they do that sort of a thing, they largely follow through. So, like, think back to it. Like, let's go back to a chart. What's going to happen? Well, what was going on? What was going on last time all this started? Well, when it really started, I think that when it really started, it was when we were down here. So we were down in the 2400 area. So keep that in mind, right? If things fully escalate with China, and we have every reason to believe that they will right now, that's where we could go. And then there was the kind of this one here when we're at 2800. So, you know, but the market and the way that the market is trading, it seems like the upside is completely ignoring any threat from China, which is just really interesting. Like, they think it's bluster. I don't know, but China doesn't bluster. They're very much like Donald. They have the same stance as Donald Trump, right? You talk strong and you follow through. Mm-mm. Let's see here. Jake Sherman's tweeting about the FISA bill. He doesn't seem to be too happy about them about him shooting down the FISA law, but I don't think that that's too important for us. I wonder if the market is going to react when Trump unveils this. He is looking to make a splash here. Is he going to put it out like just before the equity open? I don't know the way. So they took a pretty good swing, like they were going to go up, and then it just completely came back down. That's definitely not behaving the way that it has past days. I mean, the past 2 days they were just buying it and buying it going into the open. So far, no, they're saying no, we're not going to do that. Maybe they're going to pull back today. I don't know. I don't think that I really have a setup as much as I wish I did. Well, we could buy it here. We could buy it here. I mean, I think the probabilities favor the long side, but that's why I'm a little cautious about it, just because I don't feel like it should be behaving the way that it is. So I'm a little concerned. Treasury rollover to September completes today. First notice date tomorrow, right?
Marco Ballesteros says morning.
Good morning. We should go and check the roll here. I mean, there's definitely still there's definitely still liquidity in the current month, in the June month. CME group. I have this USB hub that can switch between my laptop and this, and for some reason, sometimes it decides that to switch randomly, and I have to unplug it. And I forgot to unplug it today. Pace of roll. Oh, we should do it with Chrome. We should do it with Chrome. Yeah. Apparently, I forgot my CME ID. Mm-mm. Okay. They're trying to buy again. Okay. Yeah. That calling me. I don't want it to call me. Shouldn't have added two-factor authentication to the account, should I? There we go. Okay. Oh, it didn't make me do the two-factor authentication for the base of the roll tool. That's funny. Okay, so 10-year. Show me the picture, please. Rolled 85%. Sounds like we should roll, huh? Let's see here. Does does Ninja Trader? Oh, it does. Okay, cool. Dun, 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 dun. Bullen cuts benchmark interest rate to spot 1 from spot 5 in surprise move. Okay. So now we need to come over here and say, yeah, we're going to go ZB. Okay. Rolling over with this setup is really freaking annoying, but that's okay. Okay, looks like the equities are trying again there. They're actually kind of stopping a little short of the last one, though. F. Ooh, AC's turning on. F is good. Let's see. N. I must have done something wrong over here. ZF's not coming, not showing. ZF09. There we go. Okay. And how does that change all of our prices? We're above 139 anyways, right? So oh. We're actually, when you take the roll, now we're down. Okay. For some reason, my dollar index disappeared again. Okay. So this move down in treasuries is recent. Not quite in line with this last. It was moving before this last little spike up in the E-mini, but you can see the E-mini is definitely like going like, oh, we want to go up. So I want to talk about another thing, and that is that the way that the equity indexes are trading is not really indicative to me of everything is hunky dory. It is quite a dramatic action, like especially when you go down 70 points and back up, right? Like that is pretty wild. And the way that it's reacting right now, that this kind of looks to me like, some FOMO. Like there's nothing really big reason for it to be moving, but they're buying it up. I wonder if the E-mini is going to go and push those, or sorry, if the 10-year is going to go and plunge those lows. Look at that. Small pullback before the breakout would be nice. That's a pretty big order at the low of the day in the 10-year. We still have some auctions today. We got the 7-year today, right? I'm wondering here, we're moving up, but the tendency has been that if we're moving up and then they open, they'll sell it, and vice versa. So there they are. I really think I could, let's try it. So let's say it gets to 600. Probably a lot of other people thinking that same thing, so I don't know if I'll get filled, but it's worth trying. This move up in the equities, by the way, is 10 points. You kind of got to wonder what's going on to justify 10-point swings like that. That's not... Is that as much as we've been moving in pre-markets? I guess it is, but it's just a 10-point. You get a 10-point swing, and then you want to buy that at 30.48. It's kind of a questionable trade. At the same time, you really kind of got to sit there and think like, who would want to sell this right now? Maybe that's a good reason to sell it, but getting something on the UK trade front. Michael Barnier offered a downbeat assessment of the post-Brexit trade talks to the EU Parliament's Conference of Presidents today. Barnier repeated almost word for word the letter he sent to opposition MPs in Westminster, confirmed the EU's support for a 2-year delay, Barnier told MEPs that regulatory alignment, the level playing field, and fisheries remain the most divisive issues. A source in the room tells me, more interestingly, Barnier seems confident that a fisheries agreement is the easier of the two to deal on. The reluctance of David Frost, the Prime Minister's chief negotiator, to engage on the EU's level playing field proposals has led Barnier to believe the UK is ready to accept no deal and trade tariffs in order to have full regulatory independence, the source adds. Treasury's pulling back there. Asset managers are going to need to reallocate from U.S. assets given their significant outperformance versus Europe, which now offers value. And with the newfound optimism because of coming eventual debt mutualization, Euro should benefit. NASDAQ versus DAX at interesting support level, says FX Macro. So he's saying that it's going to fail that support level and that money is going to come out of the US and back to Europe. Excuse me, man. All the hiccups and things this morning. Okay, well, they gave you a good, okay pullback there in the equities. They're kind of crossing our line. That's actually not a bad short. But I do not see the, oh geez, that's a tough one. I want to take it so bad, but I think there's too much strong uptrend. I really, uh, that's interesting. Okay, well, we'll try it. They're definitely going to go for that stop. So, hmm. Maybe I jumped too soon. I don't know. Outside bar there. This is kind of weird. We really should have gone by now. Apparently that one was too obvious. Like they crossed the line, but it's not. It's not going. They're probably gonna slice back across the line and go for the high again. Hmm. Well, that little cell there was a little bit more insistent, but then look, it comes back. The treasuries are coming back, but there's no longer a big old. Oh, they went through it. That's why I missed that. Oh boy, they're pulling at 19.5. Really? I'm gonna move this since it's been so long. Hardest trades are the ones that run counter to the logical narrative. I get the whole bearish narrative, but equally I see that price keeps moving higher even with record short open interest in ESF. Something has to give 3,100. Should trade today as shorts cover? Well, I kind of have to go and see what on the open. That sounds like a far target. We would have to have another blowout day probably to hit that. I think it's kind of funny, Brannigan saying the hardest trades are the ones that run counter to the logical narrative. I don't know if it's counter to the logical narrative. That's well, man. Well, I think that the technical trigger for that trade is not being very reliable right now. Mm. Okay. It's kind of an interesting spot here in the E-mini where it's been very, very tight, but also extremely random. It's tight, and then they come up here, and now they're down here. Treasury's pulled back a bit. Does look like 20 half is kind of, it's acting fairly equal. Could maybe sell 21. Hmm. That's a lot up at 30.50, by the way. What's with that? That makes me uncomfortable. Guess that's always been there. Hmm. Interesting. Kind of more interested in this treasury at the moment. I'm wondering if they're going to do what they did yesterday here, or maybe they pull here. You know. Hmm. This kind of thing right here, where they bid it up and then it comes back down, is not typically something that I recall seeing ahead of the open. Look, there's a decent amount at 30.44 trading there.
Trader Josh says ding ding ding.
Right. Here it comes. You were like 10 seconds early, Josh. Right, here we go. The first thing they're gonna do is stop me out, probably. Oh, jeez. Oh, it's so close. Hmm. No, there you go. It's actually relatively strong sell on the open. So that is, in fact, really interesting. Uh, well, so far they've retraced the pre-market move. We're back to the 37 area. Hmm. That would have been a better spot. So let's just remember that right there. Is it definitely? I mean, that was like 10 points down, right? And about 4,000 contracts too. It's not insignificant. Jeez, this chart sure is tight. Hmm. Okay, so tactically that last entry worked a lot better. Okay. So we're getting more large orders coming into the market now. Seem to be interested in this 39 area, 39-ish area. Was it 250 at 38.75? Just pretty significant considering that they're only putting like 80 on the DOM right now. Damn. I'm super quiet today. I'm sorry, but we have just reached a very sad milestone with the coronavirus pandemic deaths reaching 100,000. To all the families and friends of those who have passed, I want to extend my heartfelt sympathy and love for everything that these great people stood for and represent. God be with you. Well, Why am I not getting tick data yet? What's with that? It's weird. It's very, very weird. Okay, well, now they're pushing the overnight lows. Now they're back to 30-30. Oh, don't like that. Dem leaders pulled the FISA bill after President Trump told Republicans to vote against it. Where are the volatility targets for today? Good question. People asking me questions. How do you get the thing? Publish scripts. Okay, so far so good. Just really right there. Should have taken some. Someone's fighting me again today. That's funny.
Lucas says good morning.
Good morning, Lucas. How are you doing? Haven't seen you here in chat for a few days. Well, there's swings here. Even 15 minutes after the
Lucas
open are
says tight
pretty
range and thin
big.
book.
I don't know. It kind of goes through both, doesn't it? Like you'll get a tight range, or are you talking about in the? No, I don't know. I don't know how you can say it's a tight range. It'll be tight, and then it'll blow, and like we've gone like what? Good 10 points down, 15 points down on the open. Maybe finding some support down there at the 30-30 level that was so critical yesterday.
Lucas says no, I mean the overall market range on S.
I think you might be deceived by recent action. Yesterday was a really crazy range, right? 70 points down and back up.
Lucas
That's
says
a
you
lot.
don't think it's narrow?
The opening range is like 15 handles. There is some. I am kind of getting that rangy behavior action in the order flow kind of a thing. Like you can see I had that order up there at 30-40 and they didn't hit. It's like they're actively fighting against me, but I might have just, had it in exactly the
Lucas
wrong
says
spot.
I was used to see 150 points range market lol.
Yeah, see. Our perceptions deceive us. That's why I think that the looking at the volatility projections is really useful, because based on implied volatility, it's telling us that the max for the day is likely to be, what is this from? Well, where did we open at? I have to zoom in here. 44 to 15. So they're saying that the range of the whole day is likely to be like 30. So, well, not the range, but like the furthest extent up or down. Like if you go beyond that, then we're talking, and we likely will hit that 30. But then when you go beyond that, you're starting to talk about a real trend day. Like if we were to get to 60 points. And so volatility is still quite high, but it's decreasing.
Lucas says, where are the buddies Ace and Uzi?
Well, so Ace has been helping. He's getting paid by a room, so he's been helping those guys. Uzi's been around from time to time, but he has had to deal so much with his business during this coronavirus thing that it's basically been a full-time thing for him. So he hasn't been around a whole lot. But it sounds like he's doing well and that they're weathering it okay.
Lucas says, oh right. Lucas says, wait, Ace has a room?
Well, it's somebody else is paying him. It's not his room per se. Hmm. Well, we're getting awfully close to that pending home sales. Hmm.
Kevin Wimmer says, man, what happened yesterday after London close lol? When I stopped trading, market was way down and the short push looked so strong.
I know, right? Well, I think the thing is that there's flows coming into equities. So for one thing, there are companies that are doing quite well, like the Microsoft and Apple, and all of those tech companies are doing really well, and they're a huge component of the S&P 500. So that's one thing that we got to keep in mind. Another thing is that a lot of people got money, and it's
CH
apparently
Trading says, hi, traders, question any advice about trading the overnight market on futures? I am back to work 7 to 4, so no time to tarday the opening.
let me answer the first question first. Um, anyways, I think they were saying that some like 60% of people that made over $30,000 put some of their money from the stimulus check into investments. So you're seeing that money come into the markets. Now, when that money runs out, then we have a problem. But until it does, that I think is a really significant thing. And so what you got was this China trade war thing. They're really concerned that I think there's real reason for concern, but because of the inflows that we're seeing, it doesn't matter, right? Shouldn't they be more valued in the Nasdaq, which was an underperformer compared to the Dow and S&P? Speaking of yesterday, well, yes and no, because they've already moved a lot, and so investors are probably looking for the undervalued names. I don't know. It is a little odd, but look at that. Didn't fill. I should cancel that. Hold on a second. Squawk is saying something about vaccine, but not something that's terribly important. Anyways, so yeah, there's money coming into the market. They appear to be trying to look for the undervalued names, but then there's this issue like, how do you value anything right now? Like this is a really big, you know what I mean. So there's kind of that is going on, and then those people, they don't really know about the China thing, and they think that it's just like, oh, like any other country, we have, we don't like them like Iran, and we put economic sanctions on them. That I don't realize that it's a big deal with China, and China is talking like selling treasuries and like all like extreme. So, it could affect the markets, but for the moment, it doesn't matter because of the inflows. I at least that's what the price action seems to be suggesting to me. It's just a theory. All right. So I don't know. It really is kind of weird. And the other thing is that I believe that these investors are not acting rationally. When you look at the way that the market is behaving, that's extremely unusual. And this is, if we were having strong inflows, everything was good, economy was good, and we're moving up, you shouldn't see it as dramatic as it's being, right? That's more indicative of a risky environment. And so I think that that's what's happening. We're in a risky environment, but they continue to push up. And so you still have high volatility because there's really high risk and reward. Um, so that's the first thing. And then I don't know. It's the China thing could come through again later. Probably there's not a whole lot of reason to worry about headlines today, though, unless China decides to start selling treasuries. If you see a really strong push down in treasuries, then maybe be concerned. Well, they sure came back up. What is your macro view on where we're saying you think we're going to go face further market corrections? I mean, it's so hard to value it. I do think that there is a lot of risks out there that the market seems to just be ignoring. You know, there's a lot of damage that's been done that we can't see. When unemployment benefits run out for people in like what, mid-June or July or something like that, that's going to be a real problem. This is going to be a real problem because there's going to be a lot of people that are still out of work, and that's going to be a real problem. If the flows really do have a lot to do with retail traders bringing their money in, then when they have invested all of their money, that's a real problem. So here we get, this is where I'm saying that, like, it seems to me that the market is trading irrationally. They think that the Federal Reserve is just always going to bail it out. So they buy the dip every time. And it's working, but at some point it stops working. And that is a strategy that when it stops working, it's going to be really ugly. Who knows when it stops working, but when it does, and it will eventually someday, maybe it'll be 10 years from now, but someday it will stop working and it will be ugly. Anyways, so there were some other questions we got to get into. For trading the overnight, if you're going to trade overnight, then I would try trading like the Asian session. But you just got to realize the opportunity is not going to be the same, especially on order flow. Like the moves tend to be a lot random, even though there actually is a lot of good overnight movement. Okay. China can't sell their treasuries. It affects their capital ratios to dollar denominated debt. Duh. Yeah, I don't know. Well, and to Jeffrey Gunlack's point, apparently China could totally sell them and the market could absorb the impact. I mean, it wouldn't be a good thing by any means, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. But China is saying that they're suggesting it again. They're definitely beating the war drum over there. All right. Like it just realize that the things that China is saying right now, back a year ago, last January, would be sending the Dow down, would be sending the E-mini down 50 points. So you got to be careful because snaps can happen and you get stopped out of places where, totally. Because it's a less liquid market. It's just, there's a reason that most of the trade happens around the US Open. So if you can in any way trade the US Open, that's what I would do. The other question was, I'm curious if adding windows controls such as buttons and text boxes to the chart trader and constantly checking is a good idea or not. So I'm not sure what you mean about constantly checking, but indicators that add buttons to the chart control, it's totally fine. It doesn't have any adverse impact or anything. It's kind of funky. It's not my favored way of doing things, but I suppose I like the thing that I kind of dislike is that it seems like a lot of people try and create buttons to come up to compensate for the deficiencies of order entry with the chart trader. when really what they should be doing is just learning to practice to enter entries on your DOM. So.
Kevin Wimmer says I am long biased during the overnight. I only start trading with the London Open. Gary Rich says let China sell them. Fed or Treasury will buy them. It's not a real threat to USA. China can't afford to dump them.
I probably agree with you, Gary, but the thing is how do I put this? I think that we have underestimated the ideological opposition in China to free nations. And I would not put it past them to do things extremely stupid. Yeah? Just to hurt us. Okay, pending home sales is right there. It was worse than expected. Negative 21.8 versus negative 17. Where did it go? There we go. So pending home sales was less than expected. I don't know if that's a huge deal, but certainly didn't really see that the market, the way that okay, so the treasuries are back up quite a bit. They moved back much further than I would have expected. But they had a pretty strong push down to begin with. So I don't know if we have to read too much into that. It's kind of interesting that that big order at 20 shows up there. Today you learned that all the news is pretend news, says Scott Adams. That one will be, I'll have to watch that one later. Anyways, we're talking about China selling treasuries, right? I wouldn't put it past them. I agree that it wouldn't be a very smart move on their part.
RJ Wheel says we're not at the point where China can live without American consumer market. Gary Rich says China did not post a projected GDP in recent meeting. Why? They manipulate the numbers.
We're at a point, I think that they could make it without the US market. It just would really suck for them, right? But that's again, don't
G3AR,
underestimate.
Greek Gadget Guru says I agree with RJ.
Don't underestimate the ideological conviction. There is this idea out there that the Chinese don't really believe in communism and they just want to make money. It's not true. It is not true. They are 100% committed to communism. Everything that they are doing right now, in their minds, is just a step to getting to worldwide communism. That is the way that they view it. They want to take advantage of the capitalist markets to, bring about global communism. They think that the reason communism, like real communism, didn't work before was because of the damn capitalists. So we have to use the capitalist system to overthrow them, and then once we've taken complete control of everything, then real communism will work. That's what they think. And it's not just like a minority view. That's like what everybody in the Chinese Communist Party believes. Do not underestimate their ideological conviction to this. They will do stupid things. I don't know if treasuries would be the one that makes sense.
But you're talking about 200 guys in black pajamas. The billion people living under their control aren't interested in that.
It doesn't matter what the other billion people that living under their control are interested in, right?
First they must manipulate the US media. Lucas says it's funny because even China realized capitalism works for generating wealth.
Right. Like communism, the Chinese way is essentially like a stepping stone in their opinion. Like that's what the own party's literature says. It's kind of weird to think about, right? Okay, so that 38.50 is being a little thorn in the side here, which is a little bit below where it previously was, but I'm not too concerned yet. Should check our volume profile here. We are above. I think we got an okay spot. I think we're okay.
RJ Wheel says their control comes from the willingness of the army to shoot people. The army is probably rethinking that.
Do you think so? One of the things that I think I'm not seeing a whole lot about, but I have read in kind of passing moments in like news synopsises and things like that, is that there have been clashes on the India-Chinese border. There have been clashes in the North China Sea. Like China is getting into it with everyone. This is not like a, an impulsive thing or anything like that. They have determined that now, while everybody is concerned with the pandemic, that now is the time for China to make all of their moves. And the United States is coming in and saying, well, hold up. If you're going to do that, then we can't be friends. That's essentially what they're saying. And then China's like, well, then we're going to do X, Y, and Z. Well, so what do you think the probability is? Huh? So they say they're going to target
Gary
the U.S.
Rich says,
service
look
industry.
At Hong Kong. China can't afford a protest in mainland. China is totalitarian masking as capitalist. Let China rot and fail.
Sure they can. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time it's happened. Could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I am deeply skeptical
RJ Wheel says
and
pandemic
disappointed.
to depression to world war. That is our trajectory.
Skeptical and disappointed at the efficacy.
Kevin Wimmer says China #1.
The effectiveness of any kind of protesting or citizen uprising in China changing the Chinese government. They have complete and utter control. The only way that anything happens is with foreign intervention. In my opinion. If you have a good reason why that's not true, I'd love to hear it, because I don't like that that's the case. I could probably be convinced otherwise. Just because I want to believe. Now they go.
Bot says you're never wrong, Seth.
That's right. Thank
Gary
you.
Rich says China can suck a dragon dong.
Anyways, but going back to the main point here, China says we're going to target the U.S. service industry if you punish us for removing Hong Kong's autonomy by removing its special economic status. What do you guys think is going to happen? I don't know if the market realizes this is what they're saying, or this is what's going to happen. Maybe we have an edge there, but if I was a U.S. service company, I would be concerned because it's probably going to happen. It's probably going to happen. I'm not sure which specific companies that actually means, but I would be concerned. Fair enough. Anyways, and then so that's not really the question in my mind anymore. That's going to happen. So then the real question is, what does the United States do after that? Does the United States start imposing tariffs again? This can very quickly go back to well below the depths of the whole trade war thing. The way that they're talking, that's just how quickly it could change. I don't know if it doesn't seem to matter to the market today, but it's a risk that we got to just kind of be like, I think it's important to realize these things are happening, because if you go out and you see a sweep in the E-mini, you might not know what it is, but because you know what the possibilities are, okay, there are certain ones. Like, I really don't think that China is going to sell treasuries, but hey, if you see the U.S. treasuries move down 8 ticks, don't ask questions, just click sell. Just click. Seriously. They're that crazy. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's possible. Minnesota riot. Alleged looter shot dead as arson looting sweep city. That's unfortunate. I don't really want to talk about the Floyd thing very much just because I don't know if it's that important to markets at the moment, although there might be political ramifications later on. It seemed like that they had a really good case here to make for police brutality in general. I mean, I know that there's a racial thing, but I really think that it's just police. It doesn't matter who it is that they're doing it to. If that happens to anybody, it's a problem. And here's a good case to make that there needs to be some reform made. And what do you go and you do? You start a riot. Way to go, freaking morons. Worst possible fucking thing you could possibly do to eliminate or destroy your possible support. Right? Ugh.
G3AR, Greek Gadget Guru, says, do you still use NinjaTrader?
That chart that you see in the lower right corner, that's a NinjaTrader chart. So I use both of them. I enter all of my orders on Jigsaw. But I still keep the charts up. Now, that might change. I don't know. So, Jigsaw is going to have charts soon. I don't know if their charts are going to be how good they're
RJ
going
Wheel
to be.
says, Seth the Oracle.
The Oracle. I've been so dead wrong on a lot of really critical things, though, haven't I? Just in the past year. I said that a U.S.-China trade deal probably wasn't going to happen before the end of the year, and it did. Of course, I think there's a lot of things that are happening now that kind of make a lot of my view of that still seem justified, even though I was wrong on the thing that mattered. Which is that there's a real ideological problem here between the U.S. and China, and that the tension between them is inevitable and is not just going to magically go away. So here we're having it flare up again. And then if they're able to tame this down, then you have the election, and then it will pop up again because they're going to fight the whole trade war thing again, except for that Donald Trump won't have to worry about an election that time. So anyways, but then the other one was, the COVID-19 one. This is really interesting because remember when I came through and I said, I don't think that we'll have a recession. Pretty sure that we've had a recession. Pretty sure that we're going to have a recession. But I remember saying, well, it's a short-term impact, and that, you'll have depressed demand for a couple of months, and then things will be okay. Well, I was wrong because they closed things down. They started closing things down in the U.S., which was not something that I thought was going to happen. And we changed our minds pretty quickly on that once we started seeing the numbers and they came in. And a week or two before that, I was starting to think, okay, yeah, they're probably going to close things down, right? But now you look at the market now and you have to say, okay, well, I was wrong on that point, but the whole thing about the short-term impact and all of that, hey, was not too bad. But there again, I've kind of changed my minds on that too, because I don't think that the move up is unjustified, but I think that there are risks out there. I mean, it's showing in the volatility. It's showing in the volatility. So that doesn't mean that we have to move down. Just probably there should be some caution there, right? Because there's a lot of things that could go wrong.
G3AR Greek Gadget Guru says, I feel like I am left out here. Friends using Robinhood and other trading apps. Is it still a good idea to start? And if so, what do you recommend?
Well, so this is a good question here, because in my opinion, most people shouldn't be day trading. So I'm seeing all of these people are getting in, and it's good for people to be buying stocks. I really want to see more people buying individual stocks. Probably that's not going to happen. Everybody says you should get it in the index fund. Fine. But because more people are coming into investing, we're seeing more people come into day trading. Now, you will notice our channel has been growing. I'm actually quite surprised because we're at like 2,600 subscribers now, almost 2,700. And I thought that it wouldn't be until the fall that we got to 3,000, if not next year. So, wow, we're definitely seeing
Kevin
some
Wimmer
growth
says
from
one
it.
thing regarding the overnight. Remember that if you are short biased.
Let's see this tweet here. Anyways, but what we do is so much more specialized that most of those people don't come into what we're doing. For to sit in front of the DOM and try and learn such a specialized skill is just too much for most of them. But they're not interested in doing it, right? So they're either just going to buy stocks, or if they really have money, they're going to go and YOLO on options. That's a lot of what's happening. So, for what we do, I really think if you're day trading, that this is the way to do it. But you also have to realize, if you're going to be day trading, that first of all, 95% of people lose, and that the skills and everything that you really need to develop in order to be good at this is a lot. And so the real question, I think, is, what kind of person are you? Is this really something that you want to dedicate your life to? Like, is that you? Is that your purpose in life, is to become a day trader and figure out how to be good at day trading regardless of the costs? Because if that is not
Lee
you, then
Hayward
go
says work
do
at home
something else.
part-time and make $150 per day. Learn more here.
Jeez. The spam. I'll report you for spam first. Anyways, because that's what it takes. That's what it takes. If you're not 100% dedicated to this, like this is your life calling, then you are extremely unlikely to be successful doing it. So if and a lot of people are getting into trading because they're stuck at home and they're bored. If that is you, if that is why you're interested in trading, don't do it. Don't do it. The reason why we've had so much success on our channel is because we accept and embrace the fact that what we're doing is extremely hard. And so we attract the people that are truly dedicated to figuring it out, as opposed to most other channels that they know that most people are going to quit. And so they're just trying to take advantage of the get rich quick people and cycle through them as fast as possible. That's the way that most of the industry works. I'm not interested in that. I want to get good at futures. I don't really care. Well, and I like having a good community, but that is the primary thing, and those two things are in line. And anything that is not in line with getting better at futures kind of has to go. So we don't mess with that stuff. So that's how I would answer that question. I hope that is a sufficient answer here. So if you want to day trade, you Ninja Trader futures is the way to do it. So Robinhood's okay if you want to buy stocks. Don't day trade with Robinhood. People are day trading with Robinhoods. They're freaking idiots. And that was a good downturn there. I don't like that. I'm not hearing anything. I don't see anything, so I don't know why they're moving down, but it just looks like trading to me. Uh-oh. A little pause in my data feed there. Not sure where we should put this. Okay. I guess
RJ
one
Wheels
thing I'm
says,
not
"Wow,
realizing
Kevin."
is how big the range is. After hours trading gains decades in the making. Who are those guys? Yeah. That a lot of the gains are made overnight. It's so true. I saw something on that. There was somebody who showed me this site where the guy does chart patterns on daily charts. So it's not really useful to what we do, but he was showing how often certain patterns work out and so forth on daily charts. And he did a bunch of other studies, and
Bot
that was
says
one
Grant
of them.
B is looking for you on Discord at Seth.
Oh, I'm not seeing. Gamma Trader's telling me you can calculate how much money is going to come into the market based off of the stimulus. Where is he saying something? Is that in interest rates or something? Much more rangy day today. What channel was that in? Bots? Or am I missing?
Bot says he PM'd me asking for a copy of your VIX range indicator.
For Ninja Trader? Well, that's cool. I haven't really been posting the Ninja Trader one yet because I'm unsure about it. I'm kind of letting John work it out and see what he thinks about. I probably need to. I wish I had the VIX data so that I could watch it and see where the stop is most likely to be. But the thing is I've done my analysis based on like what is the furthest excursion, and I don't think that analysis is
Gary
enough.
Rich says just give him the calculation for VIX.
Yeah, I did. Well, I've been posting the trading view code. So that's where it is. I haven't been passing around the Ninja Trader one because we're using a slightly different calculation there. We're using like 19 instead of 16. I don't know. It's a few points difference. Maybe it's not a big deal, but I just don't want like two calculations going over there and people wondering, well, which one do you use? And
Bot says I think we should add the int to allow the user to select the percentage calculation of 16.
oh yeah, sure, that's what we should do.
Bot
We should
says
just make
no,
it
I
a
switched
variable.
back to the 16 calc.
We should just
Gary Rich
leave it
says
as a
tell
variable.
them to do it by hand, not hard to calculate.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. It's not even. It's not. You don't even have to give them a calculation. It's just the VIX divided by 16. It's percentage change in the E-mini. I maybe this weekend I will have time to make my scatter plots in Ninja Trader. Whoa, that would be so cool. I am kind of excited to see what that is like and how useful that ends up being. I think that would be a really cool thing that a lot of traders would find useful. Anyways, man, that push down was pretty extreme, wouldn't you say? And it looks like they're going to completely retrace it and go higher. I don't know, but kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about that. Is this just the way the E-mini is being right now? They're in stop out people mode, stop everybody out, and then maybe we'll go higher?
Grant B says thanks for the help, guys.
Bot says I also think we should add the ability to allow the user to select which VIX they want to calculate from NQVIX, TNVIX, etc.
I think we did that is in there. You just have to change the text field.
Bot says nope.
Maybe I have a more recent version than.
Bot says shocker.
Oh, I swear I did it and that it was in the one that you have. Shocker. Maybe I did modify it more and I didn't give you an updated one. Because we didn't do anything last weekend or whatever. I don't remember. I don't know if that's going to be here.
Gary Rich says let them decide 252 or 365 days for calculating.
I added it. Oh, I'm doing it. My number is 31.
Bot says cause I'm on the shit list again.
It's so funny when he jokes about those sorts of things because I have like a
Bot says yeah, what Gary said.
I have like a anxious attachment issue, and I don't know if John picks up on that, and that's why he jokes because he knows that that's going to be the thing that triggers me the most. So I'm like, no, John, we love you very, very much. But when he says things like that, I can just feel the panic in me, even though I know he's joking. No, it's definitely in there. Let me give you the one that I have. I really thought I gave it to you. I'm surprised.
Bot says rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing.
Okay, mix range. That's the one that I have. And it lets you pick. And we could very easily change the integer, right?
Kevin Wimmer says how to trigger SCHT in 3 easy steps.
Yeah. What you gotta do is be a really hot girl, show a ton of interest in me, and then just completely disappear. Then be super triggered. This was like the primary. I gotta tell you, this personal story. I think I've told this before though, but heck, why the hell not? I came out, I got divorced, and I was like, well, here were the problems with my first wife, and that I need to solve. She was a little bit impulsive and not very organized, and so I probably need somebody that's fairly organized and is active and is interested in the things that I'm interested in, all this. And I found a girl that was 100% perfectly in line with what I was looking for, like scarily so. Like it, in so much that there can only be one person in the whole world that would actually fit those qualifications, and she was not interested. And of course I was coming off of the divorce anyways, so I was just an emotional mess, right? And that was the point at which I realized how significant of a factor in my behavior the emotional attachment thing was. And I realized that the only thing that really mattered was their attachment style. And so I went and I found the most securely attached person I could and married him. That's like literally it. And it has worked so fucking well. Oh my gosh, my wife is so great. And we have a kid, and that is so much fun. You know what we do now is I roar at him. I go roar, and then he'll do it back. And he laughs, and he is so noisy. Like he's like what, 3 months old now, and he is so vocal. It's interesting. I'm hoping his siblings have really high verbal intelligence, and I'm starting to think that they must get it from the mom, because he's showing signs that he has as well.
Jacoby OG says kids are fun. Wait till he's talking with you and playing even more with you. Smiley face.
Yeah, because right now he basically just looks at you and smiles and makes noises. He doesn't really.
Bot says.
He doesn't really do much. What you got here, John? What's this link you got? Emotional
Bot says
rescue.
that one's for you, Seth.
Promoted to you by University. Yeah,
Jacoby
okay,
OG says wait till you're in a trade and he comes in the room wanting to play. Lol.
Hopefully he sleeps in like the rest of them. I'll tell you what. I'm wondering how long they're gonna sit here and try and chop around. It's been choppy day, hasn't it? Very different from past. Been an hour and we're still kind of just chopping around in the opening range area. Not going down as low as that initial pivot low, but not being able to hold the open either. Man.
Kevin Wimmer says or wait until you come in his room and see him trading Forex using flag patterns only.
Yeah, there you go. My child is using technical analysis. No. He's trading a head and shoulders pattern. Oh my gosh, somebody do something. Probably not. Well, we'll see how he's different. One of the things.
OG says ha ha ha.
Bot says yesterday's high at 3039.50, giving them grief here.
Yesterday's high? Yeah. Well, I'm kind of getting tired of being in this.
Gaurap Ali says I am new to your channel. What are the instruments you trade in future?
So I'm primarily trading the micro E-mini S&P 500 futures and the 10-year treasury. By the way, look at that big old order at 24.5. Well, I think that I should take it another contract off. I'm a little
Gaurap Ali says how long have you been trading futures?
Oh, about 3 years now. So for new people, hold on. Okay, they're giving me more bond auction results. I do not hold myself up as a guru.
Audio track in the background for the stream.
No, then they would flag my video and give me all sorts of grief about removing the audio from the stream. So it used to be that they would just say, "Oh, you can't monetize your video, naughty." But now they're like, "You have to remove it. So do you want to mute the audio or use our special algorithm to try and take it out?" It's not worth it. So I have just decided no music. Like the one where we did the Federal Reserve, like they pinged me for the music that the Federal Reserve was playing on their channel. Lame. Anyways, I do not want to be thought of as a guru, right? I'm just a guy trading and we're having fun here. And my goal is to get as good at trading as I possibly can. And where I'm at is where I'm at. And sometimes I do well and sometimes I don't. And I'm not the person that's going to come around and say, "Oh, I'm doing so well. Buy my course, blah, blah, blah." I don't care about that shit. If there are things that I can provide you guys, like we'll have some indicators, I think we'll sell them in the future for sure. But I'm not here to, I'm doing that because it's positive for the community, not because I'm trying to spread my ideal of trading around the world and getting everybody else to trade my strategy and make money from it. No. Maybe you could post a playlist for traders in the morning before we start. Well, I remember we did that thing where I went and I found a bunch of royalty-free music and I was DJing it. But I think that with that one, it didn't really help because it was just too distracting. Like, I feel like if you guys want to play music, you can open up another stream and you can play music and play them both at the same time. And then you get to listen to what you want to listen to. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to play one. It didn't help the stream at all, so I do it. That was my conclusion from that experiment. So we did it for a week, and then I gave up on it.
G3AR, Greek Gadget Guru, says agreed.
Experiments. Should look an experiment, because we're doing these market recaps. I don't know if, I haven't really talked about it a whole lot in this thing, but because I'm trying to focus more on fundamentals, and news. I've been doing a news recap at the end of the day.
Bot says I play mine just loud enough that I can't hear you grin.
There you go. So at 6 o'clock? Well, 6:30 Eastern time. Hold on. Anyways, at 6:30 Eastern time, I've been doing a market recap, and it's really short. Like, I'm keeping it 5 to 15 minutes. I go through the news stories. I'm trying to do community news too, so like things that are going on with platforms and stuff like that. So you guys can join me then if you want, but it's
Bot
really
says, I derailed that train of thought.
it's really just an easy way to record it, and I intend for you guys to watch it like before you go to bed, 5 minutes. So I encourage you guys to go and watch those videos and leave a comment on it, because it's an experiment, right? So what you guys say about it will have a significant impact on whether or not I continue to do it. Because if it's like news stories that you guys already know and you don't really find it all that useful, then maybe we just won't bother. But if it is something that's useful and you are gaining important insights from it and you want me to continue doing it, then we can
Gaurab Ali
continue
says
to do
I think 3045 is a good support micro E-mini.
3045? Or do you mean resistance? Well, they're having a really hard time getting above the open, right? Like this one right here, I think I'm just gonna. I'm looking to take it off. Okay, I missed the one above that. Oh, I still have one. I thought that was gonna be the last one. Okay, so we still have a chance here. I don't know. I mean, this looks like one of those things that will like chop and chop and chop and chop and chop and chop, and then later in the day we'll go a direction. Maybe it'll be down. I don't know. I mean, so far we've been down, so that kind of makes me a little concerned. I mean, we sure have had a strong move up, and a pullback day would really make sense. Would really make sense, but like there was some clicks and a little bit of outsized action there. That's kind of got me like, I want out. And it's chippy here. Okay. Well, now that I'm out, they can go. But I made what I want for the day. I sized into it to do that. I didn't break my risk because, I don't know, man. So the way that I'm trading this, I'm not so sure that it's the way that I would trade it with one contract. So that's why I'm kind of continue to be like, well, I only want to use 4 contracts and I won't lose more than $500.
I forgot to post VIX range targets for S this morning. Plus 50% 3067.59, plus 100% 3094.44, minus 50% 3013.91, 100% 2987.06.
Blame it on
Bot
Grant
says
B.
blame it on Grant B.
I'll fix up those 2 things on it and then we'll post it in the downloads channel. But there will also be a scatter plot version of it that maybe we'll sell for a reasonable price. It'll be a reasonable price. It'll be an amazing and incredibly unique indicator that everybody will want to have, and it'll be a reasonable price so that everybody will buy it. And that will be really cool. And it will help you guys all out greatly because you'll be able to program things that are based on it and use stats more effectively in your trading. So anyways, I don't know what else I was thinking about. There's the open. There it is. Should have waited. It's fine. I wonder how much, actually, probably I should be
Bot
seeing.
says thinking face.
Probably I should be basing my exit off of seeing like the really crazy absorption, which we're not seeing. I think that I'm just like, I don't like that I've been in it for an hour. So that's why I'm taking it off, and I'm like, I've got profits and I've reached more than what I want. I'm looking to like make 50 to 100 a day. But I've also been saying, like, if I lose 100, 200, then I'm on tilt. I don't want to use more than 4 contracts. But if I don't want to use 4 contracts at first. So I want to go back to, make $50 first, and you can add a second contract and so on and so forth. But I do find it useful to just kind of
Grant
put
B
like a
says my
test
bad
order
lol.
in. Put a
Bot
test
says
order in,
$5,200 a day.
see where you get going, and then add more contracts once you're sure that you're in the flow. And it worked out today. I don't know what this one right here was a real this one I'm really upset about. This one I'm upset about too. Because look, that one went a couple of ticks in our favor and then turned back down. It just really fought me hard today. But this is another thing, is that I tend to get this thing where it's like I'll have a hard time catching it, and then all of a sudden I'll do well. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. Because look, they were all buys. I had it right. It's just the wrong spots for some reason. Yeah. We definitely can't trade this live yet. There's still some problems with what I'm doing, and I'm not quite sure where they are.
Bot says $5,200 a day or $50 to $100 a day.
No, $50 to $100 a day on a micro contract, or 2 micro contracts, at least right now. I would not be. I tell you what, it would not bother me one bit to go back to the days where you make $10 and then you're done. I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. When we were doing that back in August, September, and I had made, I was only doing like $10, $20 a day, and we had made like $500 at one point. And then the trade war stuff kind of came in and made things all crazy. And then we came back and we started doing it, and we were doing okay. And then
$50 a day on one
coronavirus
micro
came.
is like $500 on the S.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right now, that's what you can get. We got it, but
Bot says not an easy target.
well, no, it's like a 10-point swing, right? I don't know. It worked today. So like the range is enough that it works right now. I like there they did go. They did go.
Gaurap Ali says what are the patterns you trade?
I don't trade patterns. I am intentionally trying to ignore patterns. If I come in and I see a pattern that says, "Oh, we're going to break higher," and I have some fundamental reason to believe that we're going to go down,
trading the micro ES.
Gary Rich says wow y'all ballin with $10 a day. 2 happy meals
right.
lol.
Right? Now, if I see a chart pattern that says, "Hey, we're going to go up and break the high of the day," and I think that there's a fundamental reason for us to go down, I will let them break it and fade it. I will actively trade against the technical analysis indicator right now if I have a strong fundamental reason to believe. Today we don't. Today it's a buy.
Bot says when you're not distracting the heck out of me with your Trump talks.
You're averaging 29 ticks a day? So 5 points. I think if I go back, let's do it like this. Okay, so we got that. That's correct. So if we go back for the past 9 days, let's make sure that that's just only micros.
Bot says 7.25 points.
476.25 divided by 9 days divided by 4 ticks per point. Yeah, I'm averaging about 10
Gary Rich
to
says the trend
12
following quants
ticks
are
a
back
day.
according to Nomura.
Probably.
CH Trading says I am good with 4 point on the MES1 contra, that's my target bull's eye.
Bot
You're
says,
only
but I'm
taking
only
2
taking
trades.
2 trades during specific hours, typically the last hour of the trading session.
Okay. So the way that I've been doing it, I'm trying to take advantage of the open. So I don't know. Obviously that trade that I took here could have been way better. But you can see my hit rate's not, I don't know. We need to go and look at this a different way. Obviously, I should have held it, right? But it had been an hour. I don't know if I want to be in a trade for an hour. Oh, they changed their dashboard on Jigsaw. That's interesting. It just looks different. It looks like the behavior of it is the same. And Journalytics is the same. Okay, past 9 days. Only micro trades. Oh, wow. Don't do too well on Mondays, despite taking a good number of trades on Mondays and Tuesdays. That must have been last Monday and Tuesday. Yeah. But when I look at the stats, I bet you that my win rate's not really that great. 37. Oh, but the longs, it's just the difference between longs and shorts. So when I look at the longs only, it's in line. 44.8. And I am getting more favorable excursion than adverse excursion, but it's a little too close for comfort. Profit factor is 1.5. I'm happy with that. Yeah, drawdown is like 50% of that. Oh, that's
Bot says, have a great day all. I'm heading out for a little sun on the water.
All right. Thank you, John. We'll catch you later. I mean, if I had kept all those contracts on, well, I don't think I should have kept all of them on. I do think that I should have taken 2 off. But if I had left those other 2 on, I would have been. I knew it was going to go up. I just, well, the thing is I don't like to. First of all, I'm always a little bit concerned about holding a trade past 8:30. I guess though I should have considered more where we were at, the 8:15 area. Yeah, I maybe I should have been more patient on that one. It's just the time you're in a trade is something that I look at and I'm concerned about. Also, I'm really thirsty, so I'm going to stop and go and get some. Well, I mean, I'm not going to shut the stream down, but I'm going to stop for just a moment and go and get some water. Take a break. Okay, well, they didn't hit the target, but they had a pretty good move. But it's sort of relatively mild compared to the, where we're at from the open and all of that. It's kind of interesting. They're going to have a hard time holding some of this. There's definitely some profit taking going on here from the traders. It might be something with, well, it was like I was saying earlier, it was like, I'm pretty confident that they're going to move up, but there's probably going to be, it's going to be really slow and it'll take a really long time. Oh my gosh, I forgot the water. Hold on. All right. Mike Larson on Twitter. Never seen him before, but in ZBF he says, I just find it modestly interesting. In light of other non-breakdowns in asset classes, you might expect to see, for instance, DXY holding support, ZBF holding support. Credit spread improvement pace moderating, etc. fits with the idea that we may be at a running out of gas point. In other words, he's saying they should be falling apart, and they're not. Like the dollar today is, where it is, the dollar. The dollar is at 98.84. They have broken 99, but it's not just like the floor is completely falling out from underneath of them. And I think some people would like to see it go down to like 95. Not happening. Treasuries, they had a pretty good sell here. And where are they at now? They just reverted back and are at the higher end of the range, and probably you sell 25 half. Again, unless you think that there's some risk event that's about to happen, but how do you explain the treasuries coming up? There's got to be some flows that I'm not aware of. It's really actually quite rangy behavior in the treasury, all things considered. The bid is lightening up a little bit though. You could totally sell 25 half. I might go through that. In fact, I think that you might be able to get full to 26 or 26 half, but this is the place. Do that, or maybe you could try taking it on the other side if they decide to start ticking down and hit into 24.
Ace Trade says just checking in.
Hey Ace, how are you? You know what, Ace? I tried taking your signal at the top of the hour today, and they were super troublesome for me today. So I lost that one, and then but then I did end up buying it and doing okay. The funny thing was, let's see if we can go back and find out. I'll show you. Yeah, it was right here. I took that one right there. And then they came back up through and I got out. And then they went down again and then it was like, well, okay.
Ace Trade says I got beat up a little as well. Sorry, bro. I'll send you a
I'll
check.
send you a check. Don't worry. It was a sim order. You know, it's so here's what I've been doing. I don't know what I got to do. Cuz I haven't really, I don't know. Your signal is okay, but it seems like it does a lot better in a quieter market. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of waiting to like really actively trade that again until things chill out a little bit. Maybe in September if everything continues to go well. Maybe in September. Where did it go? Oh yeah, here it is. So like I will. Well, here's like all of my performance for the past 2 weeks, and this is basically just me going, okay, what are the flows for the day? What is the likely direction? And then trying to find an optimal entry, you know, based on what I think they're going to do on the open. And I've done a good job. I don't think that there's been a day where I was completely off. But what'll usually happen is I'll try and catch it a couple of times and not catch it, and then finally I will find it and really size it up when it goes. So you get those. So you get like a couple of really big ones that are responsible for most of it. So it looks okay, but I'm really not happy with it. I really think that we can optimize this so much more, and I just don't think that the overall risk that we're taking to get those results and stuff are acceptable. So that's how I'm doing right now. And I've been spending a lot of time looking at internals, but there's something wrong with them today. Tick's not showing up today. Oh, actually, I do see one. I don't know what the deal is. Tick isn't showing up today. Maybe I need to like restart NinjaTrader or something. I pay for this data, CQG. What's wrong with you? Wonder. No, it's not that. I don't know. Another thing I should show you, Ace, though, is we got this volatility projection thing I was telling you about the other day. So did you look at what it did yesterday? Look at what it did yesterday. Okay, so here's the open. Sorry, here's the open. It actually opened right here. Look, they went down to the first target, pull back. Second target, a reversal. Overnight. First target, pull back. You really could not put out better levels. You really couldn't. It's amazing. Yeah, what's wrong with my data? Let's try a separate chart. Tick index. 5-minute bars. New chart. New charts not even opening up. That's so weird. Okay, let's restart NinjaTrader. Something's clearly wrong. That AC is turning on more often. I'm liking it. Ah. Ooh. My workspace got demolished. Oh, my workspace got demolished. That's funny. Okay. That's not the first time that's happened lately either. What the hell, NinjaTrader? Okay, well, I have one saved from yesterday, so I'll just... Oh, let's see here. I sorry, it wasn't doing the readout. Uh-huh. At least it wasn't in front of 30 people. Oh, wait, it was. I watched your evening recap video. Yesterday was really crazy. You built a new desk. Just use... Oh, I would love to see that. I'm not going to go to jail for sending unsolicited desk pics. Dude. I have no clue how it works at all. Today in the room, I went to show someone how it works, and the whole thing disappeared. What? It is weird. So, one thing that I found as useful is like come in here and have a workspace that has nothing in it. Have a workspace that has nothing in it. But the thing that's so annoying about it is that the way that it works is when you switch workspaces, it's like the workspace is open, but none of it is there. So it allows you to switch between two completely different workspaces really quickly. Whereas in Jigsaw, it's like you can have two workspaces open at the same time, and I could have like all of my e-mini stuff and all of my oil stuff, and they could be on different sides, and I could show them both at the same time. And then if it's like, oh, I don't want to have my oil thing anymore, I can close that one up and open up gold. You can do that. But in NinjaTrader, you have to switch the whole screen setup, which is annoying. It almost makes the workspaces not even worth having. It's annoying. Anyways, I would like to see what you built for a desk, because I want to build a desk. I want to get some nice wood and build a desk. Something where that's a little cleaner, cable management wise and stuff. Aha. So, reloading everything, I now get the tick. So we're good. I'm happy. And what do we get? Up volume minus down volume is negative. I wonder. So tell me, Ace, is it like with your desk if you're still there? Probably left without saying anything. It's in your phone now. Oh, okay. Let me go. Or you should have. Well, that's fine. Should have done it on Facebook. Text message. It takes a while. Check out the ratchety wire I had to switch to. Oh, it looks nice. And you trade on a ball. Oh, that's interesting. Looks pretty thick. Is that the thickness that I can see, is that the true thickness of the desk, or is there like a skirt? My cat 5 got caught in the Roomba, so I have a temporary one just running on the ground. You know what? It's a skirt. Okay. When I built my house, I said, you know what? I need Ethernet cable, and we need to future-proof it. So we're gonna get Cat 6. We're gonna get Cat 6, Cat 7, whatever it is, networking cables, gigabit Ethernet. Right? I tell you what, that shit is so hard to wire. It's just like the regular Ethernet. I don't know if you've ever terminated it in. I shouldn't swear. I don't know if you've ever terminated the ends, but basically when you pull it out, there's like 6 wires in there, and you kind of have to put them in a certain order and stick it into the head and then crimp it. But
BioTrader Wayne says lol.
But with the Cat 6 one, those wires are wrapped in foil. So you have to undo the foil, and it takes forever. It is such a pain in the butt. But I did it. It's pretty nice. There's something going on in the E-mini today. Did retail traders finally figure it out and stop buying? There's older wire running through the house. I wish they were easier to upgrade. Yeah, well, if it's already been if it's already been wired, then theoretically you can just, tie another piece of wire to it. Well, usually you like take them end by end and tape them together and then just pull it. But it often ends up being more complicated than that, unfortunately. But I wish, for me, because I've got, I knew where I was going to put the computer and everything like that. And so I've got a cable, I got a box over there, but I did the wrong thing, man. I did the wrong thing because I really should have, I really should have wired this room with like 3 of them. Really should have done like 3 of them in this room because my son's right there. So I have to have I have a router to split it up here, and so I got a wire on the ground over there. The whole thing was to avoid the wire on the ground. There's a wire on the ground. I hate it. And then I would like maybe we don't put it up here, but I would like to get another computer that is when I upgrade this one, I would like the old computer to become a media editing workstation, because I have found that the things that I need for music production and the things that I need for trading kind of conflict with each other. There's too many monitors to have those huge speakers. Just, it doesn't all fit. In fact, there's actually, another thing, like with 6 monitors and stuff. If I wanted to have 6 monitors, we wouldn't be able to have the camera right there. In fact, I have to have this monitor lower than the other monitors so that the TV, because this right there, that is the top of the monitor. Grab oil. So I already took my trade for the day and I'm done. I know, right? And let me tell you something. If you're a member of Futures.io, and if you're not, I would strongly suggest that you do so. Even though sometimes Mike makes me mad just because he's too strict. That's okay. It's okay. I'm not holding a grudge against him or anything, but it's a little bit of a racket. But hey, you know what? It's just like everything else in trading. It's worth it. And you get access to all of their webinars, so hundreds of webinars, and these are the best trading videos on the internet. And there is one, you go back and you search far back enough, from Gary Norton, called The Institutional Trading Day, and he talks about this. And I would strongly suggest that you watch that video if you want to day trade. But what he talks about in The Institutional Trading Day is that the majority of the opportunity, the good traders, they make their money on the open and they're done. And so with the past 2 weeks, when I've been trying to focus on fundamentals, I am very much looking to make the majority of my money around the open. The open in that first hour and then be done. So think about it. Wake up earlier next time. We're here at 8:20 Eastern time, so stop by then, and then you would be able to see. I have a wire on the ground again. I even had run one up over the ceiling, being careful to tack it up in the vaulted ceiling, and then the Roomba got it. Oh my gosh. I like the ball. It keeps me moving around. My sweet spot is about 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, your trade is really great, Ace. It has been different though. It definitely, I think it's fair to say that the whole coronavirus thing definitely impacted it. Yeah, it was kind of a weird move up. BioTrader Wayne says I joined Futures.io back in 2011. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is $100. It's not like it's an unreasonable thing. It's the same with lizard indicators. Man, if you're using NinjaTrader, you probably want to use lizard indicators. And really, all of the indicators that you really need are free, and you can download them off of his website for free. But I feel like that he has just done such a service to the community that he deserves to get your one-time subscription. So that's another one that I don't even know if that guy knows that I exist, but I quite admire him. I kind of wonder what he would think about some of the order flow indicators that I've made and stuff. If he would look at it and be like, well, we could add the X, Y, and Z thing to it and do this, and like what would be the next things to take it to the next level. Tick almost 1K. Careful, I don't see that. Okay, that tells us off some. He helped me make a lot of stuff. Really, that's cool. Yeah, well, I have like these stats indicators too, for instance, which I'm quite proud of. Like this is the one that kills me, is that I made the daily, I made the stat suite and the distribution histogram, and that to me is like that was a lot of work. That was a unique. It's unique, and it was a lot of work, and it is really killer useful, and like people don't seem to be that interested in it. This is where I was getting. You know what? I got the uh this. I'm having an issue. I'm having issues lately because I see so many retail traders coming into the market, and I'm like, no, what are you doing, you idiots? Why do you care about this? Why do you care about this? They're like, stop. And I'll go in and prod them, to try and get them to realize that what they're talking about is useless. But here's the thing with trading. Trading is maybe for many people the first time in their lives where they actually really have true freedom to express themselves, right? Like you and your strategy, like why is it that we're attracted to order flow versus anything else? Because, well, I think I have good reasons, but you know, there's plenty of different forms of technical analysis, and none of them really. I mean, all of them have failing traders, right? So why do you pick this one? Well, there's just something inside of you that drives you to be interested in what you're interested in. It's the same thing that drives you to be interested in trading in the first place. So that's expression, and normally we're used to those expressions being suppressed by other people, right? Like when you're a kid and you wanted to touch the phone outlet, your parents said no, and then that causes emotional pain. I'm getting this from Mark Douglas's book. If you've never read his stuff, but so in trading, you have like for many people the first time where they really have true freedom. It's not just true freedom, but they're telling you have to have freedom. You have to come up with your own thing and find your own edge in the market, and it's completely up to you where you find that edge and stuff. So if somebody else comes along and says to you, well, it doesn't work, what you're looking at is bullshit, is a dumb strategy. Here's why. Here's statistics that prove that it doesn't work. You know what? They don't thank you for it. I'll tell you that much. They don't thank you for it. I have since decided that it is a useless venture. But I think that an indicator that allows you to pull your own statistics out of the market, literally any statistic that you can possibly think of, I think that's valuable. It's there in Futures.io. You can go download it, Stat Suite. And we're gonna make something even more complicated. So we'll turn it around. I'll sell it. I have a Ninja Trader webinar. We'll charge a price for it, but it'll be super duper cheap. And because you have to pay for it, that will increase. That's been the case with a lot of things that I've done. It's like nobody was really interested in the Bitcoin valuation indicator until I started charging $5 a month for it. Tick has mostly been above zero, but extreme readings usually have a reversal, and a lot of people watch it. Doesn't mean huge reversal or anything, but it could be a high tick and a move. I didn't really see where it got to 1,000 though. It was up there. It was definitely up there. Yeah, somebody was showing 1,000 on the tick, but it didn't show that on my chart. The way CQG does it must be different. Here is about the time that they would be trying to move it, but they're not. I wonder if that move down was a profit taking. But when you look at the up volume versus the down volume is winning today. It's below zero, essentially. And actually, advancers minus declines is also. They started out positive, and then they came down, and they've kind of shifted back and forth between zero. There's a good chance that the upside is exhausted and that they're going to start testing down again. But I don't know if I really see a whole lot now. Like, I think that the good opportunities are gone. I wonder, did Donald Trump say anything about the whole social media thing? Donald Trump yet? No, I don't see it. Leslie says Trump's social media order is silly and a distraction. Well, okay. Central banks around the world sold well over $100 billion in long-term treasuries in March. Those sales came when U.S. investors were also selling. The dollar's role in global reserves thus made the Fed's job harder, not easier. Somebody finally dog that. Bank of America, we continue to be skeptical about V-shaped arguments showing the GDP, chart of real GDP, actual, they're saying that in June it's going to be -9. No, -12. Premier League set to restart on the 17th. Okay. Trump's executive order has not come out yet. I'm going to bet that there's going to be a market reaction to that. Citi, the most bearish bank on the euro, now says, though we remain medium-term bearish on the euro, technical levels are also at risk of being breached should we close above 1.1060. This opens the way for potentially another two big figures to the top side. 1.1260 sounds about right. Hence the dollar moving down a little bit, and we did see some move in the euro and the Japanese yen, and the treasuries kind of sitting here still at 25.5. Yeah, actually, they went up to 23 at one point. Probably a safer trade now if you wanted to hit it, but sounds to me like the euro 1.06. Well, we're at 1.0585, so 1.06 would be a relatively big snap up. But they're still bearish, huh? Despite all of this stimulus and everything else. Feds Williams Main Street lending facility has massive support from the Treasury program to be fully operational shortly. Tim Kaine tests positive for COVID-19. Oh no. For antibodies. Oh yeah, I took the test. I don't have COVID-19 antibodies. Now my mom was saying that they go away after 3 months. I don't think that's true, but it was more than 3 months ago. So they don't have them. Disappointing. Well, you're falling back into the 44 area. What was the open at again? Oh, I don't have it listed anymore because we reset. 43. Okay, well, so we're basically back at the open, right? Yep, 43.50. Let's mark it in there again. Open. So the upside that I missed out on was not really all that worthwhile. What's this? Why am I not getting... There we go. Oh, that's right, because this only shows me the extended session open. I was like, why is it not showing me the regular session open? Well, the regular session open is all the way down at 30.35. So, we pierced it, by the way. I have to brag because it's my birthday. Oh, congratulations. And I made 12K on a bio. Oh, wow. Wow. Ace is out. Thank you for stopping by. It's about time for me to go. Likes buttons need pounding. Oh, man, no likes today? It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to like it. It's summer. It's summer, guys. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Oh, there's a lot trading here now. What's with this? Where is the Never saw like the super huge crazy absorption or anything up here, but decent amount trading at 30.47. Oh, there you go. There's 7 likes. Thank you guys. You're great. All right. Well, we had an okay day. Unemployment was pretty oh man. So there was some good trend off of that and some absorption on it, but now they're running and they're going for the high again. What's going to happen? Let's just watch it for a moment and see if they break the high. And then we'll shut things down. You're long at 30.44. Oh, yeah. Good job. Oh, actually, it's a little earlier than I would expect. Oh, looks like they're gonna do it. They look likely. No, they didn't quite go for it there yet. When I trade futures, I only use an Andrew pitchfork that I draw on the daily, and also a 200, 500 tick chart and a triple. Well, that's a couple of things. It sounds complicated. That sounds more complicated. Well, I maybe not. My charts have gotten complicated, unnecessarily complicated. It's going to be interesting. Jigsaw is supposed to be coming out with charts soon, and we'll see what they're like and if I switch over to them or not. Or if I find that I need all of the other stuff. Okay, well. Or, do they have programming, for instance? Well, pulling back now. I guess I'm going to go. I will see you guys tomorrow, Friday. Oh, well, I'll see you tonight if you come in and show, if you come in for the market review at the end of the day. That's at 4:30 Eastern time. Quick 5-minute stream. So maybe I'll see you then, and if not, tomorrow morning. And in the meantime, stay profitable.